Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody, hello. We are live down to the dinner party where we are all together. I'm joined with like some of my good friends and some of my favorite influencers. So we have I Am Legally Hype, the one and only AB. Hi. AB, welcome to the house. How many you've been here quite often, right?
Yeah,
good friend, buddy.
This is my home away from home.
Home away from home. We have what are we eating?
Oh, well, baby. We got some mac and cheese, some yams, some collard greens, and some fried chicken. You did that.
So what has been the best thing so far? Like I didn't even taste the chicken.
I haven't tasted the chicken yet.
Okay. The chicken. While you're tasting chicken, we have my other good friend here, Jay Malik. Jay, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing
You're
great.
Live on your platform. They are already coming in.
Yes.
And to see the whole crew, everybody here, go to the YouTube, which is the Zactivist on YouTube. The whole point of eating here down to the dinner party is to really try to grow the YouTube. TikTok's days are numbered, people. The TikTok days are numbered. Hey, get in there and tell them, like, it's limited.
It's on life support, baby.
So make sure you're watching on the YouTube. And we're going to just be here trying to grow the YouTube. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by July 1. Now, Jay, on your platform, you've been growing pretty fast. You've been doing a lot of great work. You're doing a whole lot of lives. Tell us your focus and how the people can find you.
So I try to empower people through just everyday lifestyle advice, life advice, navigating both corporate America as well as everyday complications in relationships, that kind of stuff.
Yes, a lot of good financial advice.
Yeah, that too.
Job advice.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
And we are also joined by my good friend, fellow Scorpio, the one and only Sir Ken, who is host of the Bigger and Banter with a Coleman, the BBC show. Sir Ken, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The food is delicious. What's the best thing for Jay and Sir Ken? What's the best thing?
Cheese.
You like mac and cheese.
So I don't eat cheese, so I didn't eat the mac and cheese.
Okay.
But
cheese.
I just haven't had cheese in like 8 years, so I don't know. So ever since I stopped being vegan, I just never picked dairy back up. Okay. Just meat. But I love the yams.
The good yams. The good yams.
Love the yams. Yeah, most people are surprised when we eat cheese, but it's okay.
So how long has it been since you stopped being vegan?
3 years almost.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness. So what was like the transition? Like you just was like, I'm over it, or
Atlanta got a hold of me. The chicken wings. I just the chicken wings
on every corner, literally on every corner.
That was it, really. And then I fell for it, and I kind of fought it for a while, and then I eventually, I said I need to stop being part-time vegan and just eat meat.
So for everybody who's watching on the Twitter platform, please come over to the YouTube, the Zactivist, come over to the YouTube, and then you get to see the whole group, and we really can talk. And so we're just going to go into it. Every one of these, every Thursday night will be themed and have a theme. And tonight's theme is we came to eat. But it's really, and we'll always have food every Thursday, different food that fits a theme. The theme isn't we came to eat because we're eating. It's we came to eat because these three people at this table eat every single day with what they do. They are excellent in the work that they do and the content that they're creating and really kind of going above and beyond. And so a lot of what I do on my platforms deal with politics. And a lot of times people, that's wonderful to be educated and informed about the political and politics of it. But it's also important to see that there's way more to our lives and to who we are than that. And we come together, we support each other, we push through what is right now a pretty hard time for a lot of people. And we're doing it together as a community. And so we really wanted to share and show you that as a community and how we're doing it. And so, I'm going to start with you, AB, in terms of how we came to eat. You've been eating on social media for how long?
About 3 years now. I think about 3 years in. Yeah.
And not only are you eating on social media, you're using social media to eat in real life.
Eat in real life. I pay my bill.
Now, one way that we can make sure she continues to eat good is to get this merchandise. Okay, so boom. How can they buy it?
So you can actually go to my website, legallyhype.com. And there's a store, there's an option there for a store, so you can go there and purchase it.
And what has been for you, when we look at what have you eaten the most? What has been your biggest accomplishment this year of 2025? What are you most proud of?
In the year.
So you say it's Easter Day. So you say it's Easter Day, 4 months in, boo.
Right. Oh my gosh, right? I mean, honestly, just keeping my sanity with everything that's going on, having a sound mind, and still, I know a lot of people are hurting right now, and I know it's going to get a little tight, right? But by God's grace, like every day, the bills are paid, there's some kind of food on the table. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's it.
Is continuing to thrive and continuing to push forward and continuing to, kind of create.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Josh, what has been for you? What has been your biggest eat of this new year?
So through my content, I really love that I've been able to help people navigate this horrible job market. So I've helped several families get multiple six-figure jobs, and that's not like a full-time venture for me. So just to see the smiles on people's faces when they've been out of work for 9 months or a year or two, it's wild.
So have you already experienced people losing, like, it's April.
Yeah.
And, we're seeing on social media how, like, all of a sudden we're expecting higher prices, tariffs, inflation.
Right.
Are you seeing people lose their jobs even now beyond government employees?
Yeah. So my last company, I worked in tech. You'll know the Green Money app, as I call it. The company I worked at just laid off 1,000 more people.
Oh, wow.
So
1,000 people.
1,000 people.
Wow.
So tech layoffs are still happening, and it's terrible. It's just terrible.
What can you do? Right? What should people be doing right now ahead of a layoff or ahead of, like, when people, there's a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. This uncertainty causes a lot of fear and anxiety. What can we do?
I think the first thing is understanding the signals.
And watch us on the YouTube. Does Zactivist go to the YouTube to get the full, all of us?
Yeah, understanding the signals of your company without, typically, unless you're VP or above, you're not going to know that layoffs are happening. And so you just have to learn the signals. I talk about that on my page. But then beyond that, an ironclad resume, because jobs nowadays is 1,000 applications for every damn thing. It doesn't matter if it's Walmart cart pusher or a director somewhere, So that really helps. And then really, really constantly practicing interview skills helps people to differentiate themselves in the market.
So what does an ironclad resume look like? Or like, what are some suggestions you would have?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so it's talking very specifically about your accomplishments. A lot of people just describe what they do at work and not what it achieved. So that is really important. And then second, what I found in been doing consultations probably a year now, is that most people don't even know what their work helps to accomplish for the company, or for their department, or whatever the case might be. So if you can identify that, especially while you're still working there, perfect. That way you don't have to bullshit or kind of make stuff up. And that's really it.
So you've been growing, and you guys can follow him at j.malik, right?
Correct.
Maliq.
Yes.
J Malik, Maliq, j.maliq. On Instagram, if that's your preferred platform, or TikTok, whatever it is that you like. Watch this on the YouTube. That's where, again, this is to grow this YouTube, some good stuff. When will you quit working your regular job or a traditional job and just do content creation and all that comes with content creation full time? Because some people out there are wanting to do that. They're thinking about that.
I am. Yeah.
When can they do it?
Well, I wouldn't give advice on that because I haven't done that yet.
But because you're very conservative and you're very cautious. You guys will all see how conservative he is on Monday night, the Monday after Mother's Day. That is when our new version of the Five Guys Kings at the Table will relaunch, and he is on the cast, and you will learn just how conservative he really is.
I am moderate. not conservative, but this Republican Party is not the party that I was monitoring before years ago when I was voting. So I'm in no way conservative at this point. But I will say
you're conservative with your choices and your personal decisions.
correct.
So
Yes,
it's still the
that's
same.
correct.
You're not rushing out there.
Yeah.
So when will you feel that it's safe for you? Just give me what you would say. These are the parameters
Yeah,
that you're going to feel safe.
I would need brand deals consistent enough to match my income, and that would be it.
And not for you to tell us your income, but tell us how much money you have to make sure that you brought in to go.
To sustain my current life, it would be multiple six figures. So
Yeah, you need like 300,000
correct.
minimum.
Correct.
How much money do you feel that you have to have in the bank before you leave a traditional job?
I believe anywhere from 6 to 9 months of your living expenses minimum.
Okay.
Ideally, a year or two if you can accomplish that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also joining us at the table is Sir Ken Coleman, who we can find as Sir Ken, right? It's I am Sir Ken on Instagram and with TikTok too.
Yes, same thing. Website iamsirken.com.
Speak up.
Website is iamsirken.com, and also the radio show. All that stuff is on that official website as well.
And so tell us about the radio, because I want people to know how they can listen to you and find you on the radio.
So you can go to iHeart. If you have iHeart Radio.
He's on iHeart.
You go to WTT Radio.
WTT Radio.
And then I'm live every night, weeknights, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m.
And so you have the BBC show.
Yes.
What are we talking about with the BBC?
So the BBC show is not what most people think.
And what do you think most people think?
I mean, there's a lot of things you can come up with those initials, but for me, it stands for the bicker and banter of the Coleman. And that's basically what we do. Myself and other guests, we have just mature, cerebral conversations, political, religious, pop culture. We have a segment where we talk about sex. And then, of course, I like to always change up the vibe for different days. You know, we have on Mondays, we have house music. Tuesday, we have, Latin music. Wednesday, we have throwback music. It's just various different things. So it's never, when you tune in, you don't get the same thing each time you listen.
What's been like a recent topic that you thought was really good? And you guys also ask questions, right, ladies?
I've been asking questions.
For me,
I'm gonna ask a lot of questions, but they need to stop me because I know I ask a lot of questions. They never answer.
For me, I think one of the hot topics that has been something really, really hot is just the discussion of religion.
Mm-hmm.
I've had time to actually study theology, and I love to have those conversations where.
Where you study theology at? Oh, is that your major?
No, it's not a major.
Okay, what's your major?
My major is business.
Okay.
But I like to have those conversations where there are other people that can stand behind what they believe, but also be receiving to what there may be other perspectives within reason. But also, I like to have those educated conversations. One of my mentors that taught me about theology was he was I forgot how to say it. Is it apocalyptic? How do you say it?
Apocrypha?
No.
What do you mean? Yeah, tell what it is. We need to know the definition now.
Back in the days, we would call it sanctified. So.
Oh, he's apostolic.
Yes.
He's apostolic. Praise the Lord.
So, he was one of my mentors when I was studying theology, and one of the things I admire about him, I've never had this opportunity with anybody. I grew up in an uber Southern Christian family. Is that, and we were always taught that you don't question God, you don't question the Bible, and so that left me growing up with so many questions left unanswered. And with him, I've learned that it's okay to just say that I don't know, I don't have the answer. I think a lot of times that alleviates a lot of trauma and confusion with people that go through hardships or as what people say in the church, tribulations, trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you find yourself having a loved one that's sick, and you say, well, pray to Jesus or pray to God for them to get better. And then they don't get better, you'd be like, they say, well, it wasn't God's will, it wasn't Jesus' will. But then if they do get better, it's like, it's because you pray. Rather than just saying, okay, they got better because X, Y, and Z on a scientific standpoint versus more so just what could be taught to believe in a book. And then also,
well, that's a good place to probe, I think. And like, were you taught to question God, like in your religious faith or experiences, were you taught to question God?
Yes, so I'm a bishop's kid. So yes, I was actually.
And so your bishop, like your dad, taught you to question.
Question in the sense of understanding that God invites questions. I mean, you can think of doubting Thomas, for example, in Scripture, who questioned literally the physical Christ in the Bible, and had to put his hand in the flesh,
right,
in order to believe. But more so, that it's safe to question and have thoughts as long as you don't go out of your faith, essentially, in Christ himself.
And doubting Thomas was one of the most prolific spreaders of the gospel in history. Exactly. While we give St. Peter credit for being the rock, the builder of the church, it was St. Thomas that spread the Christian faith to as far as India and beyond, and who was flayed and who was known as a flayed man, and that was his death. Yeah. AB, what about you? What were you taught in terms of like level of questioning or following without question?
I don't think it was really emphasized much. I think I'm just naturally curious about everything. So I just naturally had those questions when I would learn certain things, and maybe it could be a tad bit rebellious, but I think I just always was like, well, why is it this and not this? Or, so I just naturally questioned.
Yeah.
Pretty much all things, honestly.
For me, I'm very thankful and I often talk about my United Methodist faith. It was a perfect denomination for me because Methodists believe in backsliding. Methodists believe in a lot of things that may not have endured in some other denominations. And my mom she went to parochial school as a child, and it was a Lutheran school. So Lutherans question a lot. Like, that's the whole purpose of the whole entire church. So she taught us to question everything. And literally we would have conversations about the pastor and what he said and whether this was bullshit or if this was in the Bible. And if it was in the Bible, what does it really mean? So I'm really thankful for that. I think it really made me a lot smarter in the long run. What role, AB, does faith have in your life today?
Oh, I mean, it's by faith that I'm still doing everything I'm doing, right? Like, I believe that faith without works is dead, and I think it's also the other way around, right?
Works without faith is dead.
Yeah.
That's
right.
That's an aha Oprah moment. Faith without works without faith is dead, and faith without works is dead.
Yeah, I think you have to have both in tandem to produce whatever that ultimate goal and desire is, right? And to go step by step, because you can do a lot of work and it can go nowhere, right? You can dig a lot, digging, and then it's like, what you're digging for? You're not.
See, we got a galaxy. They don't even see my.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. So I do walk by faith in everything I do. I mean, I think even as being a creator, right, in this space, in this ecosystem, it's very difficult. It's like being a starving artist, almost, right? So you kind of have to have faith in what you're doing and your talents and where you're going and what you're producing to continue to maneuver in this
moment. So, and again, for those who are watching, no matter where you're watching, really want you to be watching on the YouTube. This is all meant to build and grow the YouTube. And if you're watching on TikTok or you're watching on Instagram, you're able to see the full panel on YouTube. And YouTube is the Zactivist. The link is in all of my bios.
And we have 65 viewers and only 1 like. So if we can run those likes.
Yes,
up.
run the likes, and
right?
some comments. My friend Sissy Morgan's here. Love her. So glad that she is with us. But again, comments happen. If you're on Twitter, you can't comment because Twitter doesn't allow me to get comments. And you know why they don't allow me to get comments? Because they don't like
Wow.
they don't fuck with people like us. Twitter isn't for us. You know who Twitter is for. The wonderful supremacists in the world. The Yazis people still play the fucking game. I haven't had much. This is just plain grapefruit juice with a lemon in there.
Really?
So, what role does faith play in your life?
Honestly, it plays a big role for me. I think that's how I stay grounded. Because I've learned, and again, a lot of my friends are very, very religious. They always make jokes about me. They make sense of this vampire, this weird, crazy person. And
Turn the camera. Let them see him. He looked like a vampire, just a little bit.
No, but what I'm saying is, they make jokes because I think outside the box all the time. And contrary to belief, I do have faith. I do believe in God, and I have conversations with God. I just don't have, I guess, what some people would deem as the normal conversation. Like, I don't pray for things that I know that I can work towards to change. Like, I don't pray for any current situation to change to my comfort.
You don't pray for anything that you feel you can work towards. Like, if you feel that you can do it, you don't ask God for it.
I don't pray for anything to change outside of this normal will. I feel like I feel like life is already written. We have choices. We do have choices, but whatever choice you decide to make, that is part of what's written. And we just don't know because we don't have that divine power that God, the ultimate creator of all living things, has. And so I feel like for me, it would be selfish for me to pray for something to change to the extent that will make me feel more comfortable or more satisfied. I feel like what will be. I take it as a lesson, I learn from it, and I figure out what I can do to maneuver going forward. That's part of the reason why I did my TED Talk about igniting their purpose.
It was an excellent TED Talk. How can the people watching this find that TED Talk? Because it was excellent.
Actually, you can go to, I think, the TED Talk platform. I know on YouTube.
It's not on your page?
It's on my page as well, yes.
It's on his YouTube page. And what is your YouTube page?
Just the Don's Network. It's I Am Sir Ken. So that should pop up when you put I Am Sir Ken. Everything of mine is all I Am Sir Ken. So if you put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, TikTok, it's all I Am Sir Ken. But it's also, if you go to the TED Talk website and YouTube page, you can type my name, Sir Ken Coleman, and my TikTok will pop up as well.
What I'm gonna be honest, and I'm glad like we're streaming out to like multiple platforms. Let me say something that I've never said on TikTok before, but I've always wanted to make this TikTok. I've always wanted to say this publicly, but I've never said it publicly. Turn like this a little bit on that, and I want to say I am very worried about young people. Since really the 80s up, a whole entire movement, the evangelical movement, has grown in America. And I know that there are probably many evangelicals who actually are faith-based, in the word, know the Lord, and all that good stuff. But I have seen a lot of bullshit come out of a whole lot of churches where they've said a lot of things that are fundamentally theologically unsound and untrue. Right. And I have watched them, because they're non-denominational, use that umbrella to just say whatever it is they want to say and drive actually people away from any faith. And I don't think it matters what faith you have. I don't think it matters whether I really don't. It doesn't matter to me talking to you whether or not you're a Christian, you're a Wiccan, you're a Hindu, you're a Muslim. I don't care. As long as you have some kind of faith foundation that you can believe in and something that grounds you, because there will come a point in your life where that will be the only thing that will sustain you. And I have no doubt of this. It's inevitable. At some point in your life, you are going to lose people that you love and that you care about. And it will drive you to lose your own life if you aren't able to be grappled and grounded in something. And for me, it was my faith. So when Sir Ken says you pray for someone to get better and they get better and you give praise to God, or you pray for and then it's not God's will, actually, as a Methodist, that's kind of not what we were taught. We were taught that, my mom would always say, God isn't going to be any better to you than he's been to anybody else. And if they got to go through it, you can go through it too. And that's how it works. That was what we were taught. We weren't taught that God's going to treat you better or give you favor and you're a good person if you get favor. And if bad things happen, you're a bad person. That's not, we were not taught that. We were taught something very, very different. And when I lost my mother, and then the very next month I lost my oldest niece, it was my faith that gave me the only comfort. Nothing else gave me comfort but hearing my mother's voice in my head explaining to me what this meant, why it had to happen, and how God works and lives in the world. Right. And I think about all the young people who will not have any faith because they've been hurt by lies. The evangelical movement has lied to them, has judged them, has made them feel there is no place for them. They created trauma for the whole entire country. Correct. Donald Trump is the manifestation of this movement. He's a part of it. And I don't want to go into politics, but I do want people to search for some level of faith in moments like this, because that is the only thing that sustains me day to day.
And I think, I was just going to say, and I think tied to that, what's really important is to do your own research in a very unbiased way. Because the Christian nationalist movement or evangelical movement is just, none of it is from the Bible. They actually subvert and pervert the text, so to speak, and literally flip everything. And that's why things like rolling back DEI is so important to this administration, because they believe that God only blesses them when they wash the country clean of everyone that doesn't look like them. And so that's why he's eliminating Black history. That's why he's doing, I can't even name it all. That's why he's eliminating or isolating the United States, because they believe that they're only blessed when they're in control and have eliminated everyone else. And that nowhere in the Bible does it say that. So I think it's really important to not let, the point of faith is to not let it be deterred or destroyed by people who come against it. Right. Because you have to have some level of resilience in what you believe in order for it to stand the test of time. And this man is nowhere. That's why, yes, it's a joke, but I voted Republican before. In Ohio, we've actually had great Republican candidates for different offices. And that's really where that my moderate kind of belief has been driven from. But in the modern world, post-pandemic, I am more fiscally conservative, I will admit. However, I do love lower taxes, I'm not gonna lie. But there's nothing from a values perspective that I align with MAGA. I was about to say MAGA.
You're right.
With MAGA. So I'll leave it there.
I want to
say it. Wait, turn the camera, Sir Ken.
I want to say something that something that you said, that I wanted to make sure that if someone missed that I reiterate that, because that's something I've learned, is that I'm not at liberty to say what religion is right, what religion is wrong. I feel like at the end of the day, they all have a universal target and goal, and that is to be the best version of yourself you can, not only to yourself, but to others. And I think that it's very, very crucial that you do have some type of faith, something to hold on to, no matter what it is, but you need to have something to hold on to. And I think one of the things I learned in therapy is that, my mom, like I said, she's super, super uber religious. And sometimes I talk to her and I vent about certain things that has me frustrated. And she will say, well, Jesus is gonna figure it out, or Jesus is gonna fix that, whatever. And I'm just like, that used to irritate the out of me, right? Because for me, it's like, well, Mom, I just sit here and I sit on my ass, and I know things got to be taken care of. Jesus is not just gonna magically appear and do it.
So you're saying if you are sitting on your ass having faith but out the work, it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
The bills ain't gonna get paid.
But even if you didn't have faith, but you did the work, you're doing something. You're getting it done. But what I learned throughout therapy is that I have to let my mom feel how she feels about what she believes in, because that's what keeps her grounded. If I was to sit there and try to tell her that doesn't make sense, stop saying that Jesus is not going to do nothing and I got to do this, then I took away what keeps her sane, what keeps her on the right path, what keeps her on a path of righteousness and treating people the way she feels that you should treat them according to Christianity. So you have to just be respectful and let people believe in what they want to, because that might be the only little thing they have that keep them afloat.
The only counterpoint I have is that, believe it, because I actually went to the school I went to was a Jesuit. The college I went to was a Jesuit Catholic college. So
which one?
Xavier. So
in Ohio.
Yeah.
And Citizen Morgan is from Youngstown, Ohio. So Ohioans in the house.
Yes.
You guys can bond over JD Vance on the couch.
No, I don't want anything to do with JD. But so theology, philosophy, all those are required courses and all that.
I love those, all those, by the way.
Yeah. So what I've learned even through that and even my own studies afterwards is that there are religions that, or perversions of religions created that are for the purpose of hate and for the purpose of tearing down others. When you get to the root of what they believe, now I'm not disagreeing with you on the faith part. Like, you do have to have something that grounds you, and to them it does ground them, but it's a grounding in hatred or in just evil towards others. That
what are one of those, if you don't mind me asking, one of those that you
so tied to the Christian nationalist religion is actually the Mormon Church. They believe that the black community, the black race or black color, because it's not a race, is cursed. And so that's just one example.
But you do realize, like, in every single organized religion, there is some opinion that's biased and that ostracizes some other demographic. So
That's
it's
true.
like, I get what you're saying, and you're right, but there's also.
Let me just break it down plain. Let me tell you something right here. Let me tell you right there. Turn it right here.
That's true.
It's halfway gone. I'm just gonna put it out, tell it like it is. Let me tell you something. White supremacy has had its fucking hand in every fucking thing.
Yes.
And they will take something as perfect as your belief system, as your faith system, and it will put its white supremacist hand in the faith system and say, let me fuck it up.
Yeah.
Just the way that it's fucking up America's economy that was solid and on the move, just the same way that it's fucking up America's job market that was booming, just the same way it's fucking up small businesses, fucking up farms across the country. Yeah. It put its hand in your faith system, whatever your faith system will be, and say, let me fuck this up and make it more aligned to what we want it to be and hurt the people. That's what it did. And that's how they use religion to maintain systems of enslavement for people. And that's how they use these systems to make the poor damn Mormons feel as though my black ass came from Cain and the descendants of murderers. And it made sense to them because, again, it's white supremacy theology, not Christianity or any real true religion grounded in sound principles and teachings about how to serve your fellow man. White supremacy is about how to harm, control your fellow man.
And they use religion to control.
Yeah. And that's the problem, right? And that's why we've lost, that's why so many people, as we are in the Easter season, have moved away and let religion go all together.
Yeah. And they've used their version of it, because when you do your own studies, they actually haven't changed the original text. They just changed their version of it in order to, like you said, control, and ultimately to bring to a place of destruction.
Amy, what you think? Because you just listening.
My subject of expertise.
Yeah.
AB said she may go with me on. We may go to church on Sunday. We may go to church on Sunday, maybe.
Look,
It's gonna be boring.
Zach, after that video she posted,
Yeah.
she might
It was
go with you.
My church is gonna be boring on Sunday, but we may go to the non-boring church. I had a great church. It was a great church with an amazing pastor. I don't go to church for anything, but I don't go for the people. I don't dress up. I don't want to dress up. I don't go for any singing and hooping and hollering. All that's wonderful. But I'm Methodist, so we sing out of a book.
You got tambourines and stuff.
No, we didn't have not one tambourine clanging. I only go to church for a good sermon. Yeah. So the church I used to go to, Impact in Atlanta, phenomenal church with a great pastor, Olu Brown. Olu retired at 42. He was a preacher for 20 years. He retired. At a very young man. He started early. He retired early. And so when he left, the new pastor's sermon, I don't want to offend anybody, but I really don't care if I offend you. The new pastor's sermon ability isn't aligned to what I want to hear. I hate to tell you that, but I don't want. It just ain't my guy. So I started going to another church that is extremely slow and quiet and boring. But the pastor is a female pastor from Jamaica, and she's a really good preacher. She gives a great sermon. Yeah. So the music is a little boring. The crowd don't look like us.
So it looks like you'll be going by yourself.
No, AB said she gonna go.
No, she didn't.
It's Easter Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. You ain't going to Easter? And we can eat a brunch.
He laid out all the terms and conditions. Yeah. While we're live.
I want you to know. I don't want you mad at me that I took you to my boring ass church. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The church is beautiful. Stained glass windows. It's all the Easter ornamentation. It's not black.
It's what?
It's not black.
What you mean?
It's not a black church experience. It's a white church. You ain't got none of that. We have an organ.
Ooh.
Better get the one of the clocks.
But the pastor is good. The pastor is good.
I haven't been to church probably in about. I've been in Atlanta for 20 years. I've probably not been to church. Well, I take it back. Because going to Morehouse and being in Morehouse, man, is basically church. Mm-hmm. So every time you congregate and all that, but outside of Morehouse, I haven't been to church in probably like 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My last experience was very, very traumatic.
What happened? You haven't been to church in 15 years. Mm-hmm. What?
15 years.
Oh my God.
Is there a bit specific? That is so mean.
But damn, But see, that's what I'm telling you, my friends. I'm like this omen or the vampire or something. Just because I said I've been to church in 15 years.
You haven't been to church in 15 years.
I haven't been to church in 15 years.
You want to go with me on Sunday?
No, I'm not.
I don't think anyone wants to go there.
I'm self-diagnosed with ADHD, so I definitely cannot sit in an environment where it's really stale.
Yeah.
I will literally start blurting out stuff like yelling.
My church only lasts 45 minutes.
My church spent like 5 minutes.
But the preacher is so good. She's such a good preacher. And the organ, it's beautiful in there. It's a beautiful church. It's beautiful. But moving on from church.
Yeah, moving on.
They ain't going. It don't look like I'm going to get them in there.
And I'm a pastor. I'm my dad was pastor.
But Pastor Carolyn, I'm going to keep working to bring more people to our little bitty, beautiful church. It is beautiful in there, church. So one thing else, as we're talking and we're looking at how we eat, all three of you are creating content and you're out here in content. What are some lessons that you've learned to share with the people who are watching? Is content creation something that people should still consider?
I think so. I think that it's not going anywhere. It might shift a little bit, of course, especially as media is censored with your president. But beyond that, beyond that, I do think that if you just prop up a phone and share your perspective to start, you can change the world. You can change someone's world through your idea, through your knowledge, through your wisdom, your experiences, and whether it's about politics, whatever it's about. And I think that's helpful. That's beneficial. But I do also think it's valuable and worth the time. It grows you too as well.
What was the question again?
Is content creation basically worth it? Should you continue?
Should people still continue to try to become content creators?
Yeah.
Well, I would say it's worth it for those people like such as yourself and you and Zach, that actually are passionate behind what you guys do. And I think the content that you guys put out it speaks. Like your video wouldn't have gone viral yesterday if you haven't taken the time to be so passionate about it. And I think the viewers saw that. I don't think that it's for everyone.
You don't think content creation is something that anyone should just do?
No, definitely not. And this is the thing about it, which is so crazy because it's like I'm still having like a hard time grasping this notion that I'm a content creator, and I don't look at it that way. I just basically just do the things that I'm passionate about, and I demonstrate that. But more so, I just highlight things that I feel that can be service of the community. And so I don't do things just hoping that it goes viral. I put things out there. Like he said, if I just touch one person, if I just make a difference with one person, then I feel like my job
is done.
It's done. And so
but don't you think anybody can do that, or everyone should share that love and passion?
What I'm gonna say is, like I said, when I do things, when he does things, when you do things, and when she does things, there's that intent. It's intentional. There's a motive. It's appreciative that it goes viral. It's appreciative that you get a residual from it. But the intent of actually doing it isn't just solely that. A lot of people do that, make stuff, do like such crazy, diabolical things to go viral.
Yeah.
And
give us an example.
I mean, I think all the people we've made famous so far. Look at Bad Baby, Blueface, not Blueface, Krishan.
Him too.
Huh?
I said him too.
Yeah, him too. We'll just go with that. So many, like Tekashi. I watched a documentary last night on Tekashi 6ix9ine, which I had no idea. He literally made a market off of. Why you laughing?
Why did you watch? No, I'm sorry. This is horrible. This is why I don't drink grapefruit juice ever around people. Because it definitely dampers and it really allows me not to be able to be my professional poised self. Why are you watching a Tekashi 6ix9ine documentary?
So it wasn't his documentary. It's a documentary about him. So basically,
exactly, it's the same thing. But
no, because it's not him talking. It's about. So basically, what it talked about was Tekashi 6ix9ine got famous from making music and music videos by putting gang members in his videos. When he saw that went viral and he started making a profit from that,
so he decided to be a gangster.
Huh?
He decided to be a gangster?
Well, after 4 times that he put it in there, he figured that at some point he needed to be a gangster. But that wasn't who he really.
I think documentary is actually a really
you saw it too?
It's good.
You watching Tekashi 6ix9ine?
That part of my content is collaborating with certain events.
So it was for work?
Well, it contributes to my work, right? Because it's collaborating sort of like the social issues, right? And like how to speak to my audience in a particular way with the political issues.
What did you learn about Tekashi?
I'm gonna
what did you learn about Tekashi? Now I want to know what you learned about Tekashi because she watched it too. So I'm giving him all the smoke.
So basically, what they were saying was he was using Black people and gangs to become popular, to go viral, and out of that, he was able to make millions. But at some point, it's like he had to keep thinking, what can I do now? What's the next step I can do to keep this momentum up? And so he tried to join the gang that he had in the videos. And long story short, they robbed this couple, and Tekashi thought, okay, I've been putting all this stuff about the gang. This made me popular and go viral. Let me post a video of them robbing to go viral.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's how he got incarcerated.
Is he a good person? Like, did you learn like he's a good guy? Maybe there's something good or redeeming about Tekashi?
No, it was just the whole. It was just the whole purpose of the documentary.
You got more than one? Tekashi got more than one documentary? I'm serious. Like,
basically, he's cosplaying as a lifestyle that he was an industry plant.
Yeah.
And aren't they all industry plants at this point?
Well, but that's what my whole point about people. Everyone trying to be content creators.
And so you make it full circle. Bring us back to the point, because I was wondering where the point was. It's that this is what happens when everybody want to be a content creator. That you have to fake it. You do anything for viral.
And there's no intention behind what you're doing other than just trying to go viral.
Yeah. There's no point. And there is a point to this conversation, which is to give well-rounded conversations beyond politics in an attempt to gain more followers on YouTube. So if you are watching on the X, please come over to the YouTube, the Zactivist. That's Zactivist. Baby, come and get a cupcake if you want a cupcake. And you who are watching on the TikTok the Zactivist YouTube lets you watch all of us. We will be there every Thursday, a different theme, a different panel, still some great food. And we went into the dessert. Tonight's dessert.
I just hopped right in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, tonight's dessert, and we're going to let y'all, they're going to tell you how it tastes, is Diamond Dust Cupcakes in Decatur. This is a small cupcakery that is owned by a Black family. I believe Mama was working today. Mama was not in a good mood today.
Oh.
She was a little bit rude. Mama was a little bit rude today at the Diamond Dust Cupcakes. She didn't want to be there. But she did her best, and she cranked out the cupcakes. And that's what we have. Now, I'm not saying Mama. I don't know if Mama made them, but I'm saying it may have been auntie. It may have been elderly auntie. It may have been the old lady gang. I don't know. It may be Mama Bertha couldn't. I don't know. But all I know is she's a little bit rude. But how are the cupcakes?
They're good.
They're bomb.
Which one? What flavor did you get?
It just seemed like a plain cupcake.
Yeah, vanilla. Vanilla. You had a strawberry.
Yeah.
And it was good. So, Ken, what you gonna pick? You're not gonna eat one?
I don't know.
So, Ken said he is watching his intake.
Well,
He's watching his intake.
I was up until today.
You gotta live your life. I'm not watching shit, but the food go in because it's tough times. It's too tough of a time to worry about everything. You've been overdoing it?
I eat a lot late at night when I don't sleep. And I drink a lot when I'm out.
I think that's a great thing to talk about, because the whole point of this is talking about how we're making it through, how we're going through. What are we doing? What is our self-care? How are we surviving the moment? And, are we struggling? In the moment, are we struggling? Because you just say, late at night, you're taking snacks, you're not sleeping well. Like, are we struggling? And are you out sleeping well?
I'm a night person.
I'm a night owl too.
Yeah, you know that.
We both go to bed late. No, we both are night owls.
But I sleep in the daytime, but at nighttime is when I'm normally really hungry. So, I'm not struggling. I think the only thing that I haven't really thought about was a conversation that you and I had maybe a week ago, was about what happens, what is the plan for us, not knowing what else is going to happen. And I think that's something I never really took the liberty of thinking about. Was something you said was very simple. Start saving. Save.
To survive, you need to have lots of cash on hand. Save your money and have that money available so that you can take advantage of whatever you take advantage of. This past weekend, you were on the TikTok and you saw all those bags go on sale, Birkins and Louis Vuitton and everything else direct from the DH Gates. And if you had money in the bank, you too could have bought that stuff on discount, and you could have designed your own little Louis Vuitton logo on the Cricut stamped it on there and made you some counterfeit cash.
Oh, God.
You could have done it.
That ain't no damn cricket.
I think that's illegal.
It would be illegal if you had used the Louis Vuitton logo. But if you do a slight adjustment to the V,
But my thing is,
Now we're
why
getting
don't you
into
just
popular.
all they did was just use quality materials. Why don't you do
Yes.
the same thing? Use quality materials and use your own name. Create your own.
I
brand.
found some great leather brands actually on there this weekend. I didn't know that the leather they're using in China is coming from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so then I started looking at Nigerian leather and I saw some great pieces.
Yeah.
And I actually ordered a brand new backpack. It's a briefcase backpack chain, so I'm gonna have it for when we go to DC.
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice. What else are we doing to say in a moment?
Well, I think that's the biggest thing is saving.
Save your money.
And
You're the financial guru.
And now that I know you
And
make
doing
like
like
multiple six figures, I don't have to say that.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't have to now.
no.
I don't have to say that much.
It's just, what can you do? I think a lot of people, I was talking to some friends about how, of course, this current push is trying to end birthright citizenship and all that kind of stuff. And I just think it's a matter of time before it disproportionately affects us, Black people, in a heavier sense, right, than what it is now, besides him trying to erase history, prices being high, tariffs coming, all that junk. So savings in my personal world, traveling to get my mind off of it. And then outside of that, I'm actually seeing how tariffs are impacting businesses because the company I work for, we are a B2B company, and we couldn't onboard a client because of the tariffs impacting them. And I didn't know tariffs impacted venture capital investment. And so
No, I didn't know either.
So when I report to a C-suite person, when he's told me that, I'm like, what? Like they were bringing on a lot of business. So
And did you guys lose that business?
it's delayed.
It's delayed
until next year minimum, until they figure out how to deal with the tariffs against the VC funding. So that actually opened my mind a lot more, especially in a B2B type of business. If you
Explain to the audience what B2B is.
Yeah.
B2B is just, good. Thank you. It's a company whose customers are other companies versus you and I, like people. So
direct to consumer.
Yeah. So think, what's a good? I can't even think of one in the moment. But
well, like a bank, right? Like when some banks be where they handle all the like.
you could say like
if Snapchat were to buy a bunch of cell phones from Verizon. Right?
Correct.
That's a B2B, so business to business, essentially.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Perfect. Or if Snapchat exclusively used Canon's technology on their app, the Canon camera.
What is it? This on the computer. Microsoft.
Microsoft is B2B, right? Because they're selling the computers to other companies, and the company uses them to run Apple, all of them. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Good clarification. So if you have a company that is raising and it's significant revenue, that creates a greater risk for you being laid off if you can't bring that client on.
And so
you need revenue. So that kind of clicked for me when I found out, we were delaying a client because of the tariffs.
AB, what are you doing to survive? Like this, like to me, you represent like you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're a creative, you're a hustler, you're a grinder. How are you maintaining your mental health? Because you're in the middle of the work. Like when we talk about and think about like I know the stress of being in the political work. Like you live in that work every single fucking day. Like you have to read this stuff, take these articles, break this shit down. It's nonstop for you. How are you maintaining?
I think just recognizing that sometimes it's okay to just unplug, right? And not have to internalize everything and process everything if it starts to get overwhelming or, chaotic. And then just finding other ways to do what I do, right? So recently I've been experimenting more with how I present my content, right? So it's more fun for me and it's more lively, so it doesn't feel as daunting, right? Like, because the same way I think about it, in the sense of like the same way I receive it is how the audience will receive it. So if it feels like draining on me or like, oh, sorry guys, but bad news again, right? Like that is going to affect my spirit as well.
Major breaking news. I couldn't. That's why I don't have grapefruit juice. That's why I don't have grapefruit juice. But I'm doing this. That's why I literally say I can't have grapefruit juice because I'm gonna be doing content tonight. Because I'll do that.
That's so funny.
Major breaking news is not just breaking news; it's major breaking news. It's really important.
With that being said, you didn't have to go there. Anyways, with that, yeah, I mean, unplugging, and maybe being in community with friends and other creators, right? Definitely helps. To have those conversations, and then like things like this, just like having social interactions,
just coming together.
Yeah,
I think it's so. I think that's underestimated. Is just the making the time to come together. I'm gonna tell you what I do. You want to know what I do? Not shit that I don't have to do. Let me tell you what that means. A lot of people, if you looked at me and you saw my life, you'd probably be very judgmental in a bad way. Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna wash. I don't wash clothes. I don't fold clothes. I grew up doing a whole bunch of chores in work. I'm the oldest. And when you are the oldest, it comes with a lot of responsibility. And I was truly raised to be the warrior oldest child. So I'm someone who is like going to take care of people. I'm going to be a provider. I'm going to be a protector. And I'm going to be a fighter. You see it. You already know it. It's my personality. That won't change. But I had to get up first, do a whole bunch of chores. I'm not washing clothes. I'm going to take those clothes to the washing fold and they're going to do them for me. And I have no shame about that. I am going to take a nap every day. Do you hear me? Every day. I'm going to get a nap so I can recharge and refresh and have a fresh, clean rest of the day. I am going to take a bath, not a shower, a bath, so that I am able to also relax. So I work a whole lot, but I get in many doses of relaxation throughout the day. The nap, the bath, a coffee break, so that I'm restored and able to do all the work that I do, because I do a lot of work. And so because I don't clean my house. I'm not going to clean my house. I'm not going to mow my grass. I cut enough grass by the age of 21. I cut enough grass by the age of 21 to last me 2 lifetimes. I cut my mother's grass, my grandmother's grass, my great-grandmother's grass, my auntie's grass, and I cut an old lady from the church. Sometimes I would have to cut the church grass. I'm not doing that as an adult. I work hard to have the money to do those things. And those things are my mental self-care. That is how I take care of my mental health, so that I'm able to use the extra time that I save by not doing those things.
Yeah. No, I love outsourcing as much as possible. So I'm actually not against that. At first, I didn't know where you were going. I'm like, okay, so where do the clothes fit?
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because even washing clothes, to me, that's some shit that might break me. That's something. See, folding towels could break me. Oh, when I tell you I had to fold so many towels, because it wasn't like a little family. It was all these sisters and everybody's stuff. Fold these towels.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it now.
Yeah, for sure.
Wash and fold had that shit right.
Tight, tucks.
Yeah, I actually haven't used my laundry service in a while, but I loved it. I mean, they would bring it back, just drop it on the porch and wrapped up. And
on the porch?
Right, I'm like, that's nice.
Or near the garage, or
this is also something else that I do when I'm stressed out, or especially when I'm feeling down, is I'm going to do something for somebody else. So, example is I went to a new restaurant yesterday. And there was this lady in front who was right behind me, and she was an older lady. She was 70 years old. She looked so good to be 70. I said, "You look so good to be 70 years old." And she smiled from ear to ear. I think that made her day. So, of course, I paid for her food. because she deserved that, right? And that made me feel good that she felt good, not only from the compliment, but surprise.
Yeah.
This man bought my food.
I think it's a Scorpio thing.
It makes you feel good. It makes you the same way.
Y'all are very,
Yeah,
Scorpios
You're
are
a
very
Scorpio.
giving.
yeah. I'm very,
My baby
I'm
is
very
very
good.
giving.
We're like
I'm very thoughtful. My baby is very thoughtful.
Your baby is thoughtful. Her son's a Scorpio too,
Oh,
and
he
he's
is?
very yes.
When's his birthday?
November 10th. He was supposed to be born.
Well, nice.
I can't see because of my nails.
Oh, I can get it. TikTok is an app.
Literally. What's up, y'all? So yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not really big into signs, but I didn't know that
Really?
I'm a Scorpio. I'm not. Yeah, no. So I know the names. I just don't know their characteristics.
We're known to be saviors. Like we have saviors complex. We get our high off of
Helping
taking care of
people.
other people. and
We take care of people.
Yeah.
We enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Helping.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we got 3 books here. Pass the books. So we got some books.
Oh, fuck. I mean, shit.
Oh.
I mean, damn. Fuck.
I told him I was an Aquarius. He said, "Oh,
Zach already know how we feel about Aquarius.
I don't have any problem with my Aquarius brothers and sisters.
Oh, really?
I actually get told a lot that I'm not like a."
So we have some books. So one thing too, I always be like, we flip. These are 2 books. One is called "I Feel That," a quote collection for all the feels. We have "Disappointing Affirmations," "Unfollow Your Dreams," and there's one more I'm going to get. And I want you guys to pick the book that resonates with you, and then I'm going to explain the book of the month because we need to be reading a book together, people. We got to do that.
He said, "Oh, why? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Why so?
like, I
You haven't hated me until just now when I told you."
Well, I mean, I don't hate as far as like being cordial and respectful, but
You wouldn't be in a relationship with
all
my
my
ex-friends.
You heard it.
What's that?
I can tell you everything about a career. I know like the back of my hand.
The biggest thing that is people actually get wrong, that is stereotypical about Aquarius, is nonchalantness. There is nothing nonchalant about me.
So here's the thing. Sir Ken was married to, legally married to an Aquarius. So
an ordained minister.
So he loved Aquarius for a long time, for a good period of time. So it just hadn't worked. So there's something obviously about an Aquarius and a Sir Ken that brings them together. And I'll leave it at that.
I like to fix
Here's another one.
people.
So we got 2 other books. And so I want the people here are going to select something that stands out, a quote from the book. And these are all quotes meant to give hope, meant to give inspiration. And we have one the book is called Everything You'll Ever Need, You Can Find Within Yourself. And here's one of my, you can. And here's one of my personal favorites. This is a strong recommend. It's How Far You've Come by Morgan Harper Nichols. Morgan Harper Nichols is one of my favorite people alive. She's an amazing on the spectrum artist. In the month of April, we're celebrating Autism Awareness. Right, Autism Awareness Month. She's an amazing artist. She lives in Georgia. She has a collection of books, a collection of art, a collection of cards. And I try to buy as much as I can and support it. It's like I'm buying here my shirt. Look at this. Okay, so boom, get the shirt, support my girl. It's her shirt.
Okay, so boom.
Yeah.
And so I want you to find the quote in the book that stands out to you, or it could be, yeah. And the quote that stands out. So Malika's found his first. JF.
Yes, I'll read it. It says, "And then one day I realized I was far more deserving of my love than the one who broke me." Ooh.
Okay, wait, repeat it. Repeat it. Here's the quote, people. Here's the moment. Repeat it.
It's called Really.
Oprah's an Aquarius, people. Oprah's an Aquarius.
How I run Aquarius with the one.
Right, now what does it say?
And then one day, I'm not broken up. And then one day I realized I am so old.
Okay,
and then,
yeah, read it like Oprah.
And
read it like Oprah.
And then one day I realized.
That's not like Oprah, but it's okay.
You know how Oprah would
Did you watch Oprah?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And then one day I realized I was far more deserving of my love than the one who broke me.
Does that resonate?
I mean, It's good.
It resonated with me.
Have you been in love?
Yes. Was
Are you in love?
Yes.
Oh.
Am I broken either way? No.
No. Let me tell you how Oprah would have read it. Well, you got the page?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oprah would have sat her ass up here because she was crying like a mug when
Oh,
Gail
man.
went up in space. She was like, please don't blow up.
That is good. HDL shot. Please.
Who's going to eat the lawn now? And then one day I realized I was far more deserving of my love than the one who broke me.
Oh my God.
It was an aha moment that touched right in the pit of my soul.
Oh.
Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey in the flesh. If you are watching on Twitter or on Instagram or on TikTok, you can watch all of us see the whole 4, and the grapefruit juice on the YouTube, and it's the Zactivist. Okay, so who has the next one that they want to share? Mine is probably the worst one.
I found 2.
You found 2 good ones. Okay. AB has 2 good ones.
Yeah. They're both by unknown. So the
Unknown?
Yes. The first one is
Hoes don't want their credit.
Oh my God.
I said Oprah.
What is wrong? I'm scared. You're scared.
Oh God, ready? I have a limited amount of time left on this planet, and I'm not going to spend it being a watered down version of myself just so people can like me.
I know that's right.
That's a good one. And then I think the other one, there's 2. The next one is how you make others feel about themselves says a lot about you.
That's good.
That's Scorpio.
How you make others feel says a lot about you. Oh my God. We're going to hold that page. I want to workshop that. I want to workshop. This week, we're going to brief pen. What does that mean to you?
Oh no.
No, how you feel? Like,
that's
maybe even better. How do I make you feel? That's the truth, the real truth.
I'm at your house late at night on a weeknight with my son. You make me feel great. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, no, you're very encouraging. You are very enthusiastic about the people in your life, right? I think you see the light in everybody that you have around you, and you're really someone who's able to light that torch within someone, even if they don't see it within themselves quite yet. I think that you truly go above and beyond to make others feel good when they're around you.
You paid you to say that.
No, that's my honest, assessment of how you make people feel.
Yeah. Well, you make me feel great. You make me feel great. It's been a wonderful. I'm glad that we've gotten to know each. It's been a year. This is our anniversary almost, right? We really got to meet in person at Trending Up.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a year in a couple of weeks, a full circle, and we've just grown from there. And life just kind of brought us together and allowed this friendship to grow. Yeah. Here we go. So I met AB at Trending Up conference. And again, when she said, I've just moved to Atlanta, I'm like, I'm not going to let her be in Atlanta and not have a friend and a support system. And I immediately was like, yep, I went into Big Brother mode. I'm like, this is my sister and I'm going to support her because I love her work. I love what she's doing. And whatever I can do to support her and pour into her, I'm going to do it. But in the response, I've been poured back into because, I have no kids. But now I have a godson and her son who I love and who I believe in. And I have no doubt that Santana is going to do great things in life. And all that I can do to nurture him and support him by nurturing her and supporting her so she can be her best self as his mom, I'm definitely going to do.
Yeah.
I met Jay where through our friend Cedric and through again the Five Guys on Live and really trying to do that work. And so, he came at the very end of that whole endeavor as it was kind of stopping, but I knew it was going to be coming back. And that's why I'm really excited to relaunch the Monday after Mother's Day with the latest version of the Five Guys on Live. It's King's Table. And we can't have the king without a moderate king, conservative, but moderate king, Ohio conservative. We can't have it without a balance of voices, and that's what Jay is going to fulfill.
So he's like the male Alyssa Fair
Griffin. Kind of, right? But wouldn't you rather have Alyssa than a Megan? But right.
Sure.
So, but here's on the flip side. And so I met Sir Ken. Y'all ready?
Wait a minute. What are you going to say?
Sir Ken tried to take my ex from me.
That never happened.
I was dating someone.
What?
And Sir Ken stepped to my ex in the club.
That is not true at all.
Actually, Sir Ken stepped to my ex at a restaurant called Joe's on Juniper. And I was like, does this? And I said to myself, does this little man not know I will break him? Because I'm very territorial over my exes. And I'm like, if he don't get up out of Tony's face.
Oh, you gonna say the name? Wow.
No more.
If he don't get out of David's face, get out of David's face.
Oh my
God. And Tony is fully married and happy, and has a wonderful life.
Disclaimer out there, I never messed with his ex.
I know you didn't, because you wouldn't be here. But it's not that he didn't try.
Your ex either. I don't approach people, so I know that's not. I've never approached anybody in my life.
You don't approach people.
So how did we meet, Sir Ken?
I'm so sure.
So what's the story I should be telling people? Tell me the right story to tell.
So the right story is, I think that we had some mutual friends. We always knew of each other. You were in a relationship with someone that I did not know that y'all were in a relationship with. Mm-hmm. We befriended each other, but I think maybe
you just didn't know.
I think that he had intentions on liking me, but
I believe that.
I did not entertain that. We never entertained that on that type of level. It was always hanging out, being goofy. He honestly was like a really just platonic friend. Like, we would just do random shit. Now, I don't know if maybe he used the time that we spent together platonically to maybe make you jealous whenever you make him upset or something. I don't know. I don't know what was said. I still don't know to this day what was said. All I just know is he had to say something, because I know the last time I seen you two together, you wanted to fight me. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I don't fight.
Sir Ken.
You did want to fight me, and I was like, what is this?
Do I look like I will fight anybody?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did. I said, what the fuck is up with him? And he was like, oh, he's just crazy. I was like, no,
it's the grapefruit juice.
What did you tell him?
Nah, it wasn't that grapefruit. Let me tell you something. Now, I was not. I might have been. I would have been. I remember where we were. I remember it was Vita once upon a time. No, it became Asha, but it was the same restaurant.
No, it's not. Asha is the restaurant over by Fifth Class. That's where it was. You were outside in the back, and I was walking out there. He came to give me a hug, and I spoke to you.
Yeah, he gave you a big hug. So disrespectful. He gone now. That's about now. He ain't here no more. He gone.
But you didn't show up for him.
But we're all still friends, and that's the benefit. Is that Sir Ken and I have become good friends over time, and it was fine because there was no reason to not be.
And I had a lot.
And we do have some good chicken.
We
have a lot of chicken left, so they're gonna actually get to take some chicken home. I think the chicken was really good. I was surprised.
It actually was.
The chicken was really, really good.
Would be, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I was surprised. Like it was fresh and good. So here we go. Now here's Sir Ken's quote. Your moment. What is it?
Can I get another book?
You don't like the book? Yeah, we can pass you down this book. And while we pass Sir Ken his book, I'm gonna read you my quote. You are not alone. People are literally everywhere with their stupid problems and their shitty attitudes. You only wish you were alone.
I'm taking this one home.
Now, what did you find?
I got like 3, but I'm gonna go to the first one.
Let me see this one.
The
please.
first one is, and this is so crazy because I was just telling someone this yesterday. Stop.
We got a baby that has to go to school.
I
Take the
have-
cupcake for the baby and get a to-go plate and make sure you get him a to-go plate. There's plenty of food. And so, and if you need, you can take one of those plastic containers, glass containers, like under the island. There's that first bottom. You got all those containers. Just grab one. Take what you need.
I was telling someone.
You can bring it back at church.
Oh no, he's trying to get you. Don't take it. Don't take it.
I come to this house more than enough to know.
Right.
It'll get brought back.
Right. I was telling someone this yesterday. I don't like when people tell someone, like you need to get over it, stop dwelling in something like you should be healed by now. Because take as much time as you need to heal whatever circumstance. So I chose this because of that.
Okay, what does it say?
It says nobody really tells you this, but sometimes the healing hurts more than the wound.
Sometimes the healing hurts more than the wound.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why I've never.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, the sad thing, like that's a very true statement.
It really is.
When you are wounded, the wound is quick, it's hurtful, but it hurts so much more the next day. It hurts so much more. Like you're stabbed, but when it's healing and it's crusting over and the sore is kind of connecting, it hurts a lot more.
Yeah.
You're so much sore 2 or 3 days after the incident, after the accident, after the surgery. And that is physical, but it's also the emotional wounds that we are subjected to once they start to heal. Sometimes you may heal immediately.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may heal 20 years later. But when that healing starts,
Yeah.
it can be a very hurtful process.
But I think the beauty of healing pain is that you're progressing. Even if you can't see it or understand it in the moment,
Yes.
you're moving forward.
Yes.
Versus the pain of dwelling on whatever the wound is causes you to digress and really just sit and sit in that sorrow for much longer.
That's why I tell people like not to tell someone like you've been going through this too long. You need to move past it because you are making progress. You just might not be making progress that it takes somebody else.
And
But
people heal differently.
And people don't realize this is coming from someone that was going through a 3-year divorce.
And this is from you.
Yeah.
It took you. Your divorce took 3 years.
It took 3 years.
3 years of 3 years.
Damn.
Right. I learned in therapy that divorce is literally like the death of a loved one.
It is like the death.
It was there was a time I just got to a place where
You got enough for both of y'all? Oh wait, I got a gift for you for coming. They get a gift. Wait, hold it up about the divorce.
Well, we'll come back to it, but I think
There's a gift.
Oh, that's
We
cute.
got a gift for everybody for them coming to the dinner party. Each
Oh,
week's a different gift.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say nice meeting you.
Wait, what? You coming on Sunday? We'll have brunch. If not church, you just go to brunch.
What? This is your phone?
That is not.
Oh,
It's not my phone. No. It was a pleasure.
yes, of course. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Get home safely.
We were something to.
We went to the movie.
That's all I was thinking. And guess who it was with?
That's who we was with.
Oh, that's who it was
He was with Tony. With his man
Oh.
being there with him.
Tony's husband was there. Like we're all friends now. We're all
Yeah.
friends. We're all friends.
I didn't even know it was.
Right. That's why I was like, why is it coming to me?
I was about
We're all friends.
Come on,
Yeah, come and say hi.
This that
Come on, Matilda. This is this is my godson, the one and only Santana. He brought spaghetti because he didn't know the chicken was gonna be good.
That's right.
And it's the type of
Switch these phones out.
Being ready.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love
I'll switch
you.
it out. All right. Mwah.
Oh, did you want a cupcake, baby?
let me end the live.
Okay.
Yeah, get whatever flavor. Oh, we got a charger too. So 13. So you say it took 3 years.
Yeah. I
Hey,
learned.
buddy.
I learned in therapy like you get told things and then it's like okay
Have you always been a supporter of therapy and a proponent of therapy?
I was not an advocate of therapy until I got into my last relationship.
And what made you decide it's time? What made you say it's time for
Well, at that time, I was with someone that made me believe that the relationship was worth fighting for and saving. And so I was more focused on creating a solid foundation. And I knew that in order to have that, we would have to have had, we had premarital counseling, we had premarital counseling, we had marriage counseling, and we had separation counseling.
So you guys went through all, and it was the same counselor.
No, they were different ones.
And so, have you got individual counseling?
Oh yes, I see my therapist twice a week.
Twice a week.
I'm what they call. I do aggressive therapy. Only because I have a very, very busy life, and I tend to like handle things on my own and deal with them on my own, and like compartmentalize. So with my therapist, he gives me that outlet where I know that whatever his response would be, it would be unbiased versus me venting and talking to other people that I know. They might give me a response from jealousy, a response from immaturity, or all different types of things. So yeah.
Wow.
I see him twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And he's the most amazing therapist I've ever had. All the therapists.
He's the best.
He is absolutely the best. I get to be my authentic self. I get to talk about any and everything from sex to just testing. I text him. He texts me throughout the week to check on me. He taught me about journaling because I'm self-diagnosed with ADHD, so I have a lot on my mind and I'll forget it. So I journal it and then I talk to him about it. But yeah, I mean, he's the reason I was able to do my TED Talk.
So, what are your therapy thoughts?
Oh, I think it's a good resource, especially it's a good outlet. The tenet of therapy is patient heal thyself. And so it does guides you down a long path of reflecting and asking questions that help you to come to the realization of who you are and how you can improve. So I would never discount that. I think it's something that we should more. Is that her phone?
No, that's his phone.
Oh,
no, it's
oh, cool.
Yeah,
it's something that we should plug more into. I also think that there are elements of the therapeutic medicine or the therapeutic science that I could go very deep with it, but some of it is rooted in white supremacy. But beyond that, some elements of therapy,
yeah. I mean, just keep it 100.
Yeah, it is.
And that's why so many Black people. That's why it's important to find your therapist. That's why it's important to have a therapist.
So
worlds of difference.
No, I'm just saying it's important that you get a therapist that aligns to who you are, your culture, your beliefs. That's an important part of it. I think it's
I agree. But that's the hard part because there are some therapists that you'll get in a meeting with them and it's like talking to a wall, and then others that just have they have to have done the work too. Like old folks, well, some of the old folks I've been around, they always say never trust a man who doesn't walk with a limp, basically who hasn't gone through things themselves and overcome, because a lot of their stuff is from like the ivory tower of theory versus you've been through grief too, or so we can connect on a different level.
Where are you from again?
Ohio.
He is in Ohio.
Ohio.
Why do people?
I definitely don't think that. I don't think you sound country.
Yes, you do. You really sound.
I don't think you sound country.
Yes. Does he sound country, guys?
I sound country.
He sounds very country, and I'm from Georgia, so I should sound country. And you're from Mississippi.
Correct.
So you definitely don't sound country.
I'm from Mississippi. But I'm from a small town called DeKalb. But my family, my grandparents moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So my mother had a true Midwestern accent. So I'm certain that, I picked up on her language patterns a lot more than I picked up on the Mississippi accent, whereas my sisters sound very different than I do. They're very Mississippi. They have a deep, deep country accent, deep Southern drawl. Now, earlier, so we just learned about Thurkian's divorce, a 3-year process. We're not going to go into it per se. That's going to be something you would talk about on the after show. It'll be coming up. Well, it's working on the book. You're working on your book. But still, the fact that your divorce took 3 years, you were married for how many years?
Shit, I forgot. I think it was like maybe
about 2-3 years.
No, it's not that. About 4.
So 4 years of a marriage, but then 3 years to get a divorce, right? Like you're just saying, like the process. And you said that you are in love. Are we dating?
We gotta be in. He gotta be dating if he in love.
Not necessarily.
Where's this?
Unless you in love.
Well, it's not gonna get. It's not gonna be too personal.
No.
I'm not gonna be too personal.
I've been in a relationship.
It's not gonna get. No. It won't. I promise. It's not gonna get too personal. It will not get. It's okay. He's an Aquarius, and I know who they are, and I know their boundaries, so I will not go too personal.
I will not be disparaged.
Yeah, don't be disparaged. Run and not faint.
No.
So so can you go get a refill?
Oh no.
What's one more?
No, I'm not supposed to be drinking because I had.
You're not drinking. It's water. That's detox water. This is grapefruit juice. So what happened? Okay. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. Y'all stop. Take a break. Let me tell you something right here.
No, he has a new achievement.
We are not going to talk personally about this man's life, but he done took this phone out just in case it got personal.
Didn't I tell you that
he don't want somebody to know he in love.
I will go back.
They be in that DM, baby.
Right.
They be in the inbox. J. Malik.
They do.
J. Malik.
However, I am very firm on my boundaries.
But no, we're not getting personal.
I'm not getting personal.
Not getting personal.
Low key and open book.
But this is what I wanted to say is because here's something that was really brought to me. And this is another reason why I'm doing this. A young person reached out to me about like some of the stuff I'm doing politically. And they were like, it's so refreshing to hear you as a Black man who's a part of the LGBTQ community talk about things that people aren't talking about that are like you. And I'm like, but they are talking about it, just maybe not doing it publicly. And I feel like there's a whole series of things that should be talked about, but people aren't hearing it. Mm-hmm. So when you are a professional, you are a very successful young man. And when you say that you have found love, what does that mean for you? And how do you maintain a healthy relationship? That is my question.
I think you'll know when you have emotional safety with someone because love is universal. So many people can love you in different ways, whether that's people you've dealt with romantically or even on a family basis. So love is universal. Of course, there's different types of love, right? Romantic love, whatever.
What's other kind of love?
Sibling love, family,
platonic love, friendship love.
But in the romantic sense, obviously, this is what that's about. Is there's an emotional. You just can be who you are, right? Without questioning or having reservations or hesitations that you'll be judged. There's like an emotional safety component there.
And you feel that
for sure
in this relationship. Is it a relationship?
Yes.
Or is it just like becoming a relationship?
It's a relationship. Yeah, so I do feel that. But what was the second part of your question? I kind of forgot it.
No, how do you answer it?
Oh, okay.
I think it was one question. So it's an actual relationship. How long has the relationship been existing? 7 months. 7 months. Okay.
It's new.
And you feel safe. It's new, but not really. So and you say the greatest feeling that you feel is safety.
Yeah, I mean communication. I think actually beyond communication is comprehension. Like you are
beyond communication
is
comprehension.
You are clear.
That's an Oprah aha moment.
You are clear that what you're saying is being heard, not being defended against all the time. Now, there are natural moments when that has to happen, but more than anything, there's clarity. And I think clarity is the currency of a relationship. So, and that clarity then goes into alignment because love is great. You have to have it, but love doesn't move you toward the future. You need alignment on your values, your principles, your goals, all those things.
And you feel like you have that?
Well, I feel that in what's foundational, yes. But is there room to still learn? Yes. It's 7 months.
Room to learn.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 7 months. But in values, principles, goals, absolutely.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah.
I did not know that this man was dating and had found a little bit of love.
Yeah.
7 months.
Mhm.
When did you know it was love?
When
I gotta get a phone charger, but I'm listening.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No,
When
when
did I
did
know?
you know it was love?
That's a great question. When in a non-codependent way, I didn't want to spend a day alone. Does that make sense? Like I wanted to always have the company of the person I've grown to a liking for. And that's it. That's really it. That's what I knew. And then, of course, the safety component when I was accepted in all ways, just around what I thought, what I uh, believed and challenged to, because I think acceptance is easy, but you also have to be challenged in order to know that this is someone you can grow with. And I think the path of most resistance is the path that teaches you everything you need to know in life. They stepped away, but so it's just me for the moment. But the path of most resistance is the path that teaches you everything, right? Who's for you, who's against you, what's for you, and what's against you. So I kind of answered that question in 2 ways, but that's how I do
Oh,
it.
I mean, I think these are really important lessons to learn.
Yeah, they are.
And yeah, I think it's. What are you gonna add in, Sir Ken? I said, what are you adding in? What are you gonna add in? Me too.
It is. I think love is a beautiful thing, but it's a hard thing, and I don't think it's meant for pain per se, but I do think it's work involved in it.
Do you want it? Do you want to get married?
Yes.
Do you want children?
Yes. Not according to you, though. You said. You said. What did you say?
Too old to have kids.
Wait. Okay. So, what's his age range though? He said you before what? So after 30, what you say? 35 to 40 is something about that. 40 and above is too old to have kids. Well, I'm not 40 and above, but
how old are you?
Older than older. No, I'm not. I'm not a liar.
Well, why do you hesitate to tell your age?
Because I'm not.
All the Aquarius are like. No, it's not. If you go on the internet,
I am younger than you think, but older than you think at the same time. It's a paradox.
You're younger than I.
But older than you think at the same time.
Well, Sir Kid's a
You may think I'm 25.
He's gonna
but I'm not.
Here's a controversial statement.
776,000.
Here's a controversial statement that I made earlier to them that they were like shocked that I said. They're like, how can you say that? And what I said was, I really think for the vast majority of people, 40 and above is too old to have children. And I say that because the older we are in life, the closer we are to death. And our children need their parents for as long as they can have their parents. And I just really believe that. Like, I really, really, really believe it. And so that's why I said it, and I still stand kind of behind it. Not saying you shouldn't have children, because I also believe that when you have children, God gives you extra years to your life. I believe you get more life. Children can give you more life. Children can enhance your life, and they add to your life.
Why do you think you have kids? Do you think it's selfish?
I think it's selfish for old ass like you to have them. It's grapefruit juice.
Wow. OMG.
I
No, simply for the simple fact that I want to make sure that I do not bring another human being into this planet doing a very tumultuous, like I said.
So I have a controversial statement.
No, yeah,
because
push back. You guys can all push back more.
In a when you think about the cultural differences, just black and white people do that. They wait until most of them, not all of them, clearly duh. But for the most part, like they're taught to wait.
And you can wait 35. I mean, I'm saying you can wait 30 to 40. I know. 30 to 40. 30 to 40. It's wait. You wait. You establish a career. You create some of the wealth that you want to create. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying once you reach a certain age, it's time to start thinking maybe a little bit differently. Because that's why there is a whole thing as a biological clock. Janet Jackson said that Kamala Harris wasn't even black. She is so fucking obtuse that she doesn't have enough. Janet Jackson is so fucking obtuse that she doesn't even have the wherewithal to understand that Kamala Harris is a black woman who is from a biracial heritage, just like her Emirati baby running around here with them fat ass cheeks. Okay, so in the same way that she is disrespecting Kamala, so too will little bitty whatever the fuck his name is will be disrespected as well. In the same way that her whole entire family and bloodline and lineage has been disrespected. Janet Jackson needs to be ashamed of herself, and she's thrown away her entire legacy with that nonsense.
So you think that destroyed her whole legacy?
Yeah. No. Yes. Let me tell you something right here about Janet Jackson. When I tell you Love Will Never Do was one of the foundational songs of my life, because let me tell you what Love Will Never Do is about the fact that you have found someone that everybody said it ain't going to work, it ain't going to last. But love will see you through that. And you cannot have that kind of love with anybody else, because that other love that people approve of and they will not do. Love the song. And Janet Jackson has made me turn her ass off, and I will never stream her again for the ignorant ass shit that she said about Kamala Harris. I'm not playing that game with her.
She didn't say she wasn't. She said she heard. She thought she heard that she was. She didn't know.
So you don't like anything.
I'm done with. Listen to me. I will never listen to Janet Jackson again. She won't get one stream from me for her and that ugly ass baby.
What do you say?
Fuck that baby.
Oh my God.
You will not see this again. It will be deleted shortly.
Whoa.
You got to catch it in real time, or it ain't gonna be caught.
What do you say to?
And you need to be catching it on the YouTube.
So
that's the
obviously point. The presidential campaign is over, right? But what do you say to people who bring up Kamala's own words about being Southeast Asian or Indian?
It's her heritage. She has that right.
Okay.
So let me tell you something.
And
just like tonight, I talked about my mother. Mm-hmm. And then, Easter's family. My mom's her presence is just all around me around the holidays. And so I'm thinking about my mom and the Christian lessons that she taught me as a Lutheran, who, from the Lutheran church. I'm thinking about all the lessons and the conversations, all these things. Kamala has a right to talk about her mother, who is an Indian woman, raising her and contributing to her life. Every single person has the right to tell their true story and to tell their story as honestly and as authentically and as real as possible. Kamala is no exception to that. Right. So Kamala doesn't have to make her whole entire existence rooted in something that we want it to be, because if she did that, that would make it untrue. It needs to be her life and her story.
Correct. So when Black people have trouble connecting with that, how do you think they should find their way to connecting?
They need to disconnect from the bullshit that they believe and reconnect to some truth. Because there is no reason for Black people in this country, many of them having been the products of enslavement and the horrors of enslavement, where they know that their lineage is mixed and divided and sliced and diced because of what was done to us, to have any reason to question and challenge Kamala Harris. You want to sit up here and question Kamala Harris's blackness? You question your brother's blackness and the white woman that he's having 29 kids with. You question your uncle's blackness and the 29 white women that he's having kids with. Don't you question Kamala Harris until you question the people in your own family.
I think she was questioning.
I heard a question. No, she didn't question. She flat out denied it. Janet Jackson flat out, and they want to sit here and talk about what's that song they be singing on TikTok? You got a thinking car. It's just a thinking car. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Every time. What is the name of that song? Escapade of some bullshit. Every time I hear that damn song on TikTok, I go right in the comments and say, Janet Jackson said Kamala Harris isn't black. I post on every single version of that song. Everyone who makes a video, I say Janet Jackson said Kamala Harris isn't black. I do. You can look at them. You will see my comment right there. You will see my comment right there. I'm not letting up off these people's necks. Never. Because look at where we are today. Yeah. Trade war, broke, unemployed. Social Security is gone. Janet Jackson, yeah. She played a part. She played a part in it. While she's sitting her ass at the hiding in the bar in the goddamn desert. It's not gone yet, but it's in danger.
They want to privatize.
They want to, yes.
Elon Musk. In order to make himself richer. As if he's not rich.
Low taxes.
You did say you wanted low taxes.
So let me be very clear. I'm not selfish. Actually, I take care of a lot of people. But what I will say,
the majority need those taxes.
So having a preference doesn't translate to a value or an action. So while I do prefer, no, it doesn't. I do prefer that taxes are lower, but I don't want Social Security to be prioritized. I did not vote for Donald Trump, but never in a million years would I do that. I didn't do it in this election. I didn't do it in the last one. I voted for Kamala Harris.
But they did vote for George W. Bush.
Yeah.
I did not. Oh my God.
I actually did not.
You did not?
I did not.
Here's the thing.
Then why are you
I'm not a Republican.
I pay more in taxes.
I'm a moderate.
He's a moderate.
A moderate? What the fuck is that?
I'm a moderate.
It's right in the middle. Like he's lean.
You're independent? He's
a moderate. He's a moderate Democrat. He's a Democrat, but in the middle, closer in some values.
Exactly. That's it.
I pay more money.
But that's not on the ballot.
I pay more money in taxes.
I vote for the best candidate. And in this election, it was Kamala Harris.
It's always gonna be.
Who was it before that?
Joe Biden.
It was Obama, and it was.
So you didn't want to vote for Joe Biden? Did you?
I voted for Joe Biden.
See, you see how come he's coming for him because he's a queer.
I actually have a video proof of who I voted for because y'all think
who did you vote for Obama?
I did not.
And you probably voted Republican for all the
We cannot talk about politics on the Thursday. We're gonna do this on Monday nights,
okay, well,
and also very heavy pop culture on Monday nights. But this is.
You heard he said.
What he said? I know he said. This is what I wanted to say. This is what I want to say. Wait, what? Now I'm confused. Now, like he a Thoreau. I had a good thought. He's not a Republican.
Yes, he is.
He's not a Republican. It's okay if you are a Republican. That's the whole point. Is we want more diversity of thought in these conversations. As we're.
She said, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I voted for Republican for everything else. Like, bitch, you had to say that.
I didn't even do that.
Why did you have to say that? Most important saying that. All you had to say was you didn't vote for Donald Trump. She said, I didn't vote for that. No, Alyssa said, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but I voted Republican for everything else.
Oh, okay. Well,
what I was going to say is I paid more money in taxes than I made as a classroom teacher. Mm-hmm. Like my tax payment was more than my salary as a classroom teacher. Looked at all the damn money that had came out throughout the course of the year because I'm in sales, so I get my bonuses are taxed at a ridiculous 40%. Yeah, and I don't mind it at all. Like this one, I don't mind it because I don't mind the taxes. I'm not mad about the taxes. I do hate the fact that billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook don't pay taxes. That pisses me off. I'm mad about the spaceship ride.
Waste the money.
What do you think about Gail being the only one?
Gail had me.
I don't like Gail. I don't like Katy Perry. I'm done with Gail. I'm done. I will not. I'm turning off the sun. That little sun. That big ass sun, CBS morning. That big sun. That big. I'm done with the sun. I'm done with CBS. I want R. Kelly, get R. Kelly back and have him confront Gail. Right. R. Kelly, get Gail and give her the treatment.
That's what I said. You know what? I told somebody last night. He said, why are y'all down?
Gail, it's bathroom time with R. Kelly if you keep this up, girl.
Why are y'all down with black women? I said, it's not just a black woman, it's a black journalist, and what she
knew better. It was tone deaf and it was ignorant.
What she typically does is interview and go after people on the street.
It wasn't fair.
And it's now everyone's doing the same thing to her.
She can't handle it.
She can't handle it.
The heat is on her because
She said his space ride.
It was good chicken.
She said his space ride was supposed to put pollutants in space.
Yeah, I don't want to.
How the
Gail,
fuck would that happen?
I
But why
didn't
would you
even
wanna
listen
do
to
that?
what Gail had to say because Gail has no validity in my eyes. People are fucking losing their jobs and livelihood every single day. We have highly qualified. Let me tell you something. We have highly qualified scientists who are keeping us alive, who are detecting foodborne illnesses, who are finding cures for cancers and other diseases. We have good people in this world who lost their jobs, and she's going to go on a Jeff Bezos flight to space and then come back and say that her 4 minutes in space at $35 million was a worthy expense. Gail, shut up.
Literally.
You are a month. Shut up. Eat Gail too. Eat the rich, eat the Gail too. More than Oprah's going to be having that meal, and it's just what it's going to have to be when the time comes.
Yeah.
I can see you.
I don't mind. I don't mind the taxes because those taxes pay for education, they pay for healthcare, they pay for the things that keep America going. I believe in it.
Yeah, and I not only do I,
but you don't care about them folks because you say you don't want to pay your taxes.
That's not true.
You say you're mad about them being so high.
I just don't want them to be so extremely high because do I want millionaires and billionaires to not pay taxes? Absolutely not. Of course, I want them to pay
They should
taxes.
pay. They should pay their fair share. They should be taxed the same rate as everybody else.
I agree, but in the same time, in the same breath, when you don't have 5 kids and a wife or a husband, taxes eat your ass up. So that's just my gripe. It doesn't mean that I'm against.
But even if they
social
do
programs,
eat your taxes up, and when they are taking that large amount of taxes out of you, you still have a great deal of money, income left over.
I wouldn't agree.
Still more than what the average median household has.
Yeah, sure. No,
But
I
you
don't
won't.
agree. I think the purchasing power is so limited nowadays that even if after taxes I'm bringing in 150, 200, whatever number it is, that's not enough to live.
That's none. And if you're watching on TikTok or Instagram or X, you can see the whole show on the Instagram. The Zactivist. I'm sorry, on the YouTube, the Zactivist. What did he say?
He said, think about those who are making 30, 40,000.
He said, "That's not my problem."
Teacher of the decade, Brandy Alexandria, teacher of the decade.
The reason I say it's not my problem is not because I don't have empathy or sympathy toward them. That let me be very clear. I grew up very poor. I have 6 siblings.
Oh, he got this.
You're the oldest?
I'm not the oldest. I'm the middle. But when I grew up poor. I've lived in my
middle
car.
children are notoriously selfish.
I'm not selfish.
I'm not. I hate to say it. I'm not saying you.
Don't.
You're not selfish.
My middle sister is the sweetest.
I am the reason my family got out of the project.
I'm just saying.
I'm
not. I'm just. I'm saying. I'm not saying you. It's 3 of us that my mom and dad had, and my dad has other children. I love them, my siblings as well.
Yeah.
So it's like 7 total of us.
Yeah.
My mom and dad had 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
And there's a baby who acts like a baby, and then there's a middle sister who could be watching this right now. And I love her dearly, and she's the sweetest person I know. Like, I'm serious. She's genuinely sweet, very friendly. But at the end of the day, she gonna want what she want and take care of her kids and her family first. And the rest of us better get it how we live it. A little bit selfish. I'm just saying, because typically the middle kids don't get the same level of like shower with love and support as the oldest. So they be like a little bit selfish.
But that wasn't my upbringing.
Okay, it wasn't your experience.
No. So
okay.
My family actually did shower me with love and support. They still do. It's just that I needed to challenge them to change from like the survival mode mindset. I grew up, it's 7 people in a household. Sometimes dinner was a can of pineapple. So I grew dirt poor. So when I moved to Atlanta, started on the up and up, got a great job, all of blah, 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 right? It's a mindset thing. It's a paradigm shift that has to happen to get them to say, you got to move out of the kind of the project mindset. And that doesn't mean that my path out of it was easy. I struggled for years. even after getting into a place where I was earning six figures or whatever the case might be. I blew all of the money I made.
That's what he talks about on his TikTok.
Yeah.
That is the focus of his platform and his channel and what he teaches and educates around.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I blew all that money because I didn't have the right mindset. And so when I moved my family to Atlanta, it was just kind of just going through all that and challenging them to think differently. But I've always lived my life for the service of others, whether it's volunteering, working on campaigns, working at the church, all kinds of things, feeding the homeless, giving back. I live my life in service.
But why, like when you said like the project mentality, do you take that like as a responsibility or you take that as like blame, or is that like a structure of society? Because I see that as a function of society. I believe that society makes these conditions that forces people to believe certain things, to think certain things, and be trapped in certain types of cycles for the maintenance of white supremacy. And once you break through that, it is your job to break other people out of that mentality.
Absolutely, you nailed it. Actually, I agree. I think they want to keep you there, right? White supremacists want to keep you stuck and in that place of oppression. And so I do think I have a responsibility to look back and bring my people with me. And so that's why even on my TikTok, it's maybe some of it may be corporate focused, but there's so many Black people who don't know how to play the game, who don't know how to navigate and win.
But it's our job to help them and to show them, and that's what you do on your platform.
Exactly.
So again, if you don't follow Jay Malik, it's JAY.MILIQ.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I've lived my life in service of others. Now, will I say I'm in a season where I would like to keep a little bit to myself? Yes, but does that mean I want others to
a little
suffer?
money? So
No,
how is
money.
having a so now that you are dating
In
I
love.
need money.
and in love, maybe found the one, how is that going to change how you use your resources, if at all?
I mean, I don't think it changes it significantly because the understanding is that I'm gonna be there for my family in whatever way they need. I'm still gonna give back. So I don't think it'll be a shift or change. But when
So have you talked about this with your potential partner?
Yeah, I mean that's just who I am.
Because some partners do not want you to use your wealth for your family.
That.
But no, really, listen.
Be together.
Sit down, sir. So he just said he don't. This man just said he don't want you to use your money for your family because he wants that money for the household.
Yeah, I mean,
or for the new family.
I think it should be a point. It should be a situation where the bulk of it is going to your household. You have to give it to your home first. Charity starts at home. Just go with that saying. But beyond that, if you are operating in abundance, it shouldn't be an issue to give to your family if they can respect it and treat it well enough to where you should keep doing it. But when I say I want to keep a little for myself, it's not just money, it's experiences. It's that I've lived my life pouring out and giving my life to everyone and everyone else, everything and everyone else. I just want to keep a little bit of it to myself now.
Do you? So I mean, Kim, why do you say? Why do you feel the opposite? Like, why would you say that you wouldn't want? So if he's been a provider for his family, he's been helping his family, his siblings, probably now nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that if he was your partner, you would not want that?
I think there had to be a limit. There had to be a boundary set.
Mm-hmm. Because there should, and I actually sort of agree with that because I think there has to be a point where they become self-sufficient. The point isn't charity like forever. The point is,
and you don't want them to be codependent.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I love you, I want you to stand on your own 2 feet. That's what love is, not crawl forever because there's no growth in that. There's no evolution. So yeah, it should be a limit. And if I won the lottery today, I wouldn't give anybody shit.
How about that?
And what I mean by that is, I wouldn't give my family nothing. And if I do, you would have to show proof of return on that investment.
Baby, let me tell you right now.
Wait, so
If I won the lottery, we all won the lottery. It is just who and how I am. It really is. You have no idea what I would do with the money I won from a lottery, but I know
it would be how much I won though first.
It would be so given away. I would do so many good things in this world.
Well, that's what I'm doing now. I'm not even a lottery winner. So, you know, I feel like I win a lottery when I'm able to just do what I do. Yeah. I volunteer for Alcohol Anonymous. I cook for them. I go to Al-Anon. I got nonprofit SOS.
You know what I don't do? You know what I don't do? Is I don't give to no motherfucking Kroger.
Kroger?
When I go into Kroger or Publix and they say, do you want to round up 10 cents? No, I'm not rounding up no damn 10 cents. Let me tell you, no, that's not my job, Kroger. So you can get a corporate deduction. When I go to church once a month,
even Arby's.
On the first Sunday, I say no. Give me all my money. I'm not helping Arby's. I'm not even eating Arby's. I am going to say I give 10% of my tithes to church on Sunday. And when I give my money to church on the first Sunday, my 10%, my tithes, that is all that I am supposed to give. Because that's what the Bible says.
The Bible does not say
your 10%, your time and talent.
The Bible does not say that.
I don't have no damn rams to kill. I can't go out there and get a sheep and slice him up and give it to the altar. So you got to give your 10% tithes. It is a symbolic giving, like the lamb and the sheep and the goats.
For what purpose?
And I don't have any goats.
For what purpose?
To be obedient.
To what?
To the word.
And why does the word need your money to be obedient?
Because the word needs your. You know what? Let me tell you what I believe. I do believe that you should give your tithe. You should give 10% of your earnings to the church, in theory, right? So that the church can still continue to grow and continue to do outreach. It's the church's job to take my 10% and divide that among the poor and the indigenous and the people that are suffering in this world and who need it. There should be no person. There should be no homeless person in this world that can't go to a church and get help. That's the point of the church. The church is there to help the people of this world who are suffering in the same way that Jesus fed the hungry multitudes with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. That is the service of the church. So my job is to give the church the money so they can do that work. That's the job. Now, if they don't do it, that's going to be on them and the Lord. But I did what I've been commanded to do.
Yeah. Well, good.
Well, so as we wrap up, gentlemen, here's what is your final question for the table? Okay, so
I'm soaking everything.
Soak it up. Jay, what is your final question for the table? We'll be back every Thursday for 6 Thursdays.
Okay, it's conservative old man.
My question would be, what's bringing you joy these days?
Wait, producer, yeah.
My joy does indeed come from. I really thought about this because I have a friend who's big on self-care, and she's like, "What do you do for self-care?" I'm like, "I don't do nothing for self-care," but I realize I'll do a lot for self-care. What brings me joy is having a barber that comes to my house. What brings me joy is having a wash and fold to wash and fold my clothes. What brings me joy is having a good lawn man who comes every 2 weeks and takes care of the lawn. What brings me joy is the mobile car detail that comes right to the front and mobile car details. And what brings me joy is my daily nap. It's getting that nap in at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock for 30 minutes to an hour to wake up and then continue on with the work that I have to do. Yeah. Those are the things that really bring me joy. I love that. What about you? So, Ken, what brings you joy? And you got to tell.
Well, me, I'd say it's impacting people's lives positively. I love being able to see a shift and change in people's circumstance, both for my family, for myself. I do a lot of work on myself. Like, personal development is a value of mine. So whether that's spending time alone, studying, whatever, exercising, whatever the case might be. So that, and being able to be anchored in peace despite all the chaos going on in the world.
Ooh, I like that.
So a lot of it comes from what I was mentioning, like just finding things that keep me centered in peace
That's a
versus.
really good one. I really like that.
Thank you.
That was a really good one.
And what's bringing you joy, Sir Ken?
I would have to use that one too. And just being able to honestly, I think what really brings me joy is the fact that I am a serial entrepreneur. I have still been, and I hate to say this word, I say blessed because I don't know another word to be equivalent to that.
Is nothing wrong with being blessed?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Um, for me to be a serial entrepreneur, self-employed, and I have been this way for a decade now.
Yeah.
Even through the pandemic, I was still able to have all my clients and still able to get out and work and be essential. And what brings me joy is to know that even through all this chaos, all the political climate that we're in, and the majority of my clients probably are people that were like, conservative, but me being a man of color, they could say, you know what, we no longer want your services. But I had 100% of all my clients to still not only trusting me to provide service to them, but I've had so much like this week. I've had like half of my clients already pay in advance for next month, and just not having to worry about what am I gonna look like next month or whatever. I'm financially stable. I'm emotionally stable. I'm mentally stable. I'm spiritually stable, and that brings me joy because in a couple of years ago, I wasn't that place.
You weren't there.
And even though we are now dealing with stuff that could make it even worse, I am solid. I'm good. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't faze me. And yeah, like what he said, it's good.
So my final question. I miss all the questions. Would be, each of you have a number of things that have made you successful, a number of pieces of advice that you've taken with you, or that you could give. I want you to think about what's one piece of advice that you can give to the people that are watching this live, that are looking or who will sit on the replay, that you can share with them. One piece of advice that you can share about what it means for you that you think this is the key to my success.
I would say not being completely emotionally attached to outcomes, right? You want to drive and produce outcomes, but you don't want to let it break you when you don't achieve them, because you have to fail. That's the only way you can iterate and learn what isn't good for you. And then tied to that is creating systems. I am really big on creating systems for my goals instead of just goals, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to hit the goal. Goals are just meant to give directions, whereas systems help you to actually achieve it. So if I want to lose 20 pounds, I need to know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, non-negotiable, doesn't matter what's going on in the world. Those are the days I'm going to the gym. That's my
No matter what
system. So that's a super quick example, but it's one to where if you set up your goals based on what you need to do and then go and execute it, you will always achieve whatever it is that will help you accomplish the end result. What?
They're so fucking cerebral. They're so full of shit.
I'm not full of
No,
shit.
they are very,
Cerebral.
they're very intelligent, and they're very intelligent. They're very expansive.
Stimulating.
So, Sir Ken, what is your piece of advice?
My piece of advice would be to go to iamsirken.com and look at my TED Talk. I think. Stop laughing! You make me laugh.
Okay.
No, seriously. Go to iamsirken.
It was a good, sir. It was a good TED
No,
Talk.
wait. I'm gonna tell you. Go to iamsirken.com and go to my TED Talk page and watch my TED Talk. I think we are at a time right now where a lot of people do not know if they have a purpose or what is their purpose. They're lost. And that is what my TED Talk was about.
It was.
Finding your purpose and igniting it. And, I feel like that's my advice. Like, everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a purpose. And if you find your purpose and you ignite it, nothing will ever get you off track ever again. And it's so easy to figure out what your purpose is. If you watch my TED Talk, hopefully that.
My piece of advice is to truly just do what you can do. And that's different for everybody, different people. And you might have to start with small wins. Failure begets failure, but success begets success. So it's okay to start small. It's okay to start getting small things and small wins to begin the cycle of success that you need to see in your life so that you can be where you want to be. And the more you succeed and the more you win, the more you overcome, take notes and make rules. Take notes and make rules and live by those rules. One thing that's really different about me that I don't share a lot with people is that I have content creation rules. As a content creator with the platform, I have rules that I don't deviate from. And one of those rules is this. So let's say that a white woman does something that's highly offensive. You will never, and you've never seen me get on social media and attack all white women because of what one white woman has done. I'm going to address that person. But there are a lot of creators who use inflammatory rhetoric to attack groups of people because of what one person has done. One gay man, one white woman, one black person, and it attacks a whole community. That is the worst thing that I think you can do. Make the issue the person who caused the issue. To not, and again, be mindful of the power of the platforms that you will. But again, I have a whole journal where I just write down rules as I think of them, and I stick to those rules so that I'm able to always hopefully empower people and do positive good in what I do with the platform that I'm slowly building. And hopefully I can keep building it if you follow me on the YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitter or TikTok, just follow. You do not have to watch the show there. You can go back to Twitter, go back to TikTok, but we need the follow. I need the follow. I need to build a platform, 10,000 by July.
Awesome. Get it.
Okay, give us that final question, Sir Kian, so we can wrap it up and call it a night. Right at 2 hours.
I have a question.
You have a word of advice. Your final. No, you're supposed to give us a final question, right? Yeah. Your final question, my final question, and what's your final question? Yeah.
What was your question?
What's bringing you joy these days?
And mine was a piece of advice.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, if you could talk to your 7-year-old self, what would you tell them in order to protect them when they become who you are today?
What I would say is do not judge people so harshly and learn to let things go earlier. As a 7-year-old, I was made fun of a lot. I was ridiculed a lot. I was teased a lot. And I was very harsh in my judgment of people. And at 7. And so I would say, because people are products of their environment and they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. So I wish that little Zach could have been a little bit more forgiving and a little bit kinder to people who were not nice to him. Because people need that. They needed it then, and that's not what they got from 7-year-old Zach. And I wish, if you were mean to me, I was meaner to you.
Really?
And I never, if you made fun of me, I never forgave you. For the rest, for your life.
That's who I am today.
There were people who made fun of me in like in elementary school. And I never let it go all the way up until these people are adults to this day.
I'm-
Like I've let it go
I'm-
now, but I'm saying when I was a kid, it carried all through high school, and I would, if there was a chance to get them back, I got them back, and I just really wish I wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah, I would say learn to speak up for yourself and just be brave and take courage.
You didn't speak up for yourself?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Really? Oh,
No, I
would have spoke up for you.
Nah.
No, when I spoke up for. Now I got talked about. I fought back. I fought back. Well, I was bullied, but I fought back. But I also did a lot of fighting back for other people.
Yeah,
You weren't gonna bully anybody around.
I wasn't bullied, but I think those years set the stage. Like as I went into adolescence, to learn how to be a people pleaser, which is something I've overcome, and just not speaking up for myself.
Were you a people pleaser? You were.
Mm-hmm.
I was not.
Yeah.
I wasn't a people pleaser.
I was just.
I didn't give a damn.
I was always worried about making everyone else happy. I never made myself happy. But now, who I am today is I wouldn't say I'm never a mean person. I'm a kind soul, but I'm fair. So I assess things without bias, or as much bias as possible. But yeah, I'm empathetic. But if it is what it is what it is, and I don't have any issues speaking up for myself. So.
I would have been quick to speak up. I would be quick. I would stand up for people so fast.
Yeah.
I think I would just say, never compromise your authenticity.
Do you feel that you've ever done that? You come across it. So, turn your head so they can see that tattoo. Look at this man. Look at that. You see that? This man, to me, you come across as so real and so genuine and such a unique person. And so but when you were younger, you weren't like that. You grew into this.
You gotta realize I'm in a very small southern town, and I grew up in a predominantly white area. And at a very, very early age, I was called queer all my life, and I didn't know what queer was. And what I did know is that I just always tried to fit in with everyone, so much so that So
you wanted to fit in.
I don't think I wanted to. I think I just felt like I had to in order to not get jumped every day or get picked on or get, sit at the table in the cafeteria by myself. Like I was always either with the popular girls or the nerdy white kids, or like I was always just trying to fit in with somebody just to be with someone, not be by myself.
Yeah.
That's a whole deconstruction of how our childhood traumatic experiences, because of who we were and how we showed up in the world, affected us throughout the course of our lives. Yeah, absolutely. And everyone had a different response to it. And that's really, that's three different people with three different responses to common childhood probably traumas.
But that's why I said I see my therapist twice a week, because
they're helping you through that.
Not only was he helping me through my current circumstance, he's also helping me unpack all the other traumatic events that happened that allowed myself to be put in a position where I was with someone that was manipulative, narcissistic, and abusive, and all those things, because I did not deal with the traumas that happened when I was a kid, which that made me think that this is how you're supposed to be loved.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's so true.
Oh.
So you can unpack what you're dealing with now, but you got to unpack all that other stuff too.
Well, I'm thankful that you have a good therapist, and he sounds like a great doing a wonderful work in your life. Another one last thing that did come to my mind is that I would tell 7-year-old Zach, listen to your mother. No matter how smart you think you are, she really does know more. And unfortunately, you won't realize how much she knew until she's no longer here. But she actually was right about everything. That's what I would definitely make sure 7-year-old Zach knew. Because 7-year-old Zach knew he was smart.
But not smart.
But well, he thought he was, even at 7. But the benefit of Deborah Kirk as a mom is that she kept my ass grounded. Literally.
Tell him our other connection.
Well, his birthday is the day my mom died.
Oh.
And his mom's birthday is my mom's birthday.
Oh wow!
So our mothers share the same birthday. So it's just
I was like, what?
So right. So not only do we share an ex
Oh my god!
that was mine that he wanted but could not have.
That's the thing. I don't even like ice cream guys. So that's why I know. Like I don't. That's why I'm like, my ex was the first.
My ex isn't even that light skinned.
But you know,
He's not super. Tony's not super light
But
skinned.
that's what Chris do. Y'all suck me in with these cerebral conversations, and it's like stimulating. And then I'm thinking like, oh my god.
But you'll find with me, because you've said this a lot. I am who I say I am, like, or who I show you as I am. You know, I'm not.
If you wasn't, then why would you say you am? Right? Amen.
Because you continue to create a predisposed idea of what an Aquarius is.
Well, I do know what Aquarius are, and also
I'm not manipulative. I'm not a narcissist. None of those.
Well, I don't expect you to say that.
Well, that's how you've been describing it all night.
I said Aquarius, it's not you.
I love Aquarius, and I'm glad everybody's been there. We've had a great time. We love you. We love you. We love you. And every Thursday, we will be here, different panel. Now, these two men will be with me every Monday night after Mother's Day to do the table. So you will see them again. And then next week,
Mondays.
What? My show is at 9. Your show is at 10.
Oh, okay.
So every Monday, and then we'll have an after show that Sir Key is going to host. But then next week we're going to be doing a whole new group of people at the dinner party, and it's going to be all about love with the gay dating coach. So can't wait. It's going to be
you got
Lamont is coming. It's going to be a very spicy Thursday night next week right here down to the dinner party.
Can I say, wait. Can I say something before we go?
You can.
Because I won't get to be here. And so y'all remember he said Lamont. Y'all bring this back up when y'all tune in.
It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be spicy.
One of Lamont's first clients.
You were his first client. Did he find you love?
No, he found me a date from fucking hell. I was on this date. It was I'm making it real fast. It was a rock common date. It was with a white man, and I did not want a white person, but he told me to be open. So I was
be open.
I was open. When I got to the rock climbing place, they were supposed to have already had a date paid for. When I got there, they said the car declined, so I had to pay for the date. So I paid for the date. The guy shows up 45 minutes late. All of a sudden, this white guy walks in. His hair is all slicked back and wet, and he has like this like girl outfit on, and he is like twisting and everything. I was like, oh.
Well, that might. Was he cute? I don't mind a girl outfit.
No,
I don't mind a girl outfit.
That part. So this whole time,
I like a girl outfit every now and then.
I don't know if I can do this. So
that wasn't a match for you.
When we would get
that wasn't a match.
Time for us to leave to get our keys, they would hold our keys. The guy was like, "We can't find your keys." So someone stole his car.
Oh no! Oh my god!
You know my friend Norris. You know Norris.
I don't know Norris.
I called my friend. I was panicking. I'm not the best in like stressful situations. Well, I am now, but back then I wasn't. My friend came. We called the police. Filed a police report. Kind of find out the guy's car was not in his name. It was in his parents' name. So I think they said he couldn't do a proper police report or something. So I had to end up taking him home. But on the way taking him home, he was hungry. So he wanted to go to jail in Juniper. So I took him to jail in Juniper. Found out he didn't have no money. So not only didn't he have no money, when I took him home, he couldn't get inside his place because guess what? His keys were gone. His house keys were on the car keys. So I had to give him money, $250 for a locksmith. And then I had to wait 4 hours for a locksmith to get there and then get him inside. And you know that motherfucker had a nerve to text me at 4 a.m. when I got home. I really thank you for all you did. Do you want to fuck?
Oh, God.
And then Lamont told me the
next
day. He said, well, the guy told me the date hit out really well.
See you next week. So y'all make sure y'all remember.